Fall is right around the corner, and the fall of the WWE roster once again is upon us, and they released a big name today. I also have news covering Dynamite heading into All In later this month. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody. It's Script, and your host is always Mad, but thanks for joining me this Thursday night. Big news, you guys. Before I even get to covering Dynamite and talking about what we have coming up for All In at the end of the month, which that alone is some big stuff that I'm going to get to later in this video, so stick around for that. But first, breaking news as of earlier this afternoon, this Thursday afternoon, Ilya Dragunov is done with WWE. Jason Solomon's the first person I saw report this at 11:43 in the morning today. Per PW Insider, Ilya Dragunov's deal has expired and he is gone from WWE. What a wasted year. More like what a wasted career in WWE. Look at these comments down below. Nicholas says, wow, I'm stunned right now. Such a shame. Ilya deserves so much better booking-wise. AEW is a likely landing spot, but I gotta ask you, could New Japan be an option for him? Both. Look at how many wrestlers in AEW have a hybrid contract. We just saw Gabe Kidd return. Takeshita also back on AEW TV. Both who competed in the G1. He could totally do both. Bert below that says they prefer fake vampires over good wrestlers. That was some bullshit. It's just becoming more and more apparent that WWE is not even worldwide wrestling entertainment. They're this worldwide entertainment. They're not sports entertainment anymore. They're just entertainment with very little poor wrestling on most of their shows. They'll have a sprinkle of two here and there of decent matches throughout the year, but most is cookie cutter, boring matches, and Raw and SmackDown are filled with ads and promos. I can't watch it anymore. I gave up on it months ago. I'm sure some of you have as well, but I'm here to report the big news when it does affect AEW, and this does affect AEW. WWE is really looking like the pissant t-shirt company that Triple H coined AEW back in 2019, the year that they started, because look at what they're doing. They're releasing a guy who could out-wrestle pretty much anyone on the WWE roster now that guys like AJ Styles are retired. For what? Danhausen? And don't get me wrong, Danhausen, he can be entertaining, but he's not a good pro wrestler. That match at SummerSlam was pitiful. Sean Ross Sapp and actually commented on his post here. He's leaving WWE after his contract expired. Fightful Select can confirm PW Insider's report, so it is for sure confirmed. Sean Ross Sapp is a very reliable source. Say what you want about him, but he is reliable. I go on down below to say, what a waste of actual in-ring talent. This is why I've always joked that WWE stands for wasting wrestlers every day, like I said a moment ago. Dude deserves better. WWE can be what Triple H called AEW initially, a pissant t-shirt company, and stick to having Danhausen go out on stage with the t-shirt cannon. And you guys, it's more than likely happening. You saw that Kyle Fletcher had a match with him 7 years ago, posted this on his social media, his X 2019. There's a photo of young Fletcher there. I mean, Fletcher there was like 20, 21 maybe at the oldest. It's going to happen, you guys. And you know what? His contract is expired. He has no 90-day no compete. He could literally show up on Collision Saturday if he wanted to. Likely, I see him running the Indies for a little while, but I'm not going to lie. I would love if he was a surprise entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In at Wembley. Let me know down below your thoughts on Ilya being released by WWE, and would you like to see him in AEW? Now that the WWE news is out of the way, that does affect AEW potentially. Let's get on to AEW. Dynamite. This wasn't the go-home show, but it very well could have been because it was fucking great. You had the two Continental Cup matches. Nigel somehow beating Hechicero. Great upset again. And he's my ride or die. I told you guys at the beginning of this tournament that he was my long shot pick, my wild card pick, and he's still in it. Jay White versus Moxley. One of the best TV matches by Dynamite this year. Jay White ultimately comes up short. After this match, he gets jumped. We see tag teams come out and stuff, and they're really cooking with the tag teams, the trios teams. You also saw something interesting backstage with Hangman saying, if anyone wants a shot at these trios titles, meet us at Wembley at dusk. Come on. New Day, dusk. It's going to happen, you guys. 100% going to happen. That's going to boost ticket sales as well. You also had Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, and one of the best TV promos AEW's put out this year. These two guys are cooking, you guys. That promo, that segment was 20 minutes. Not typical of AEW to do, but when they do it, I love them for it because it's not done weekly, shoved in our faces like another promotion. It's done when it's needed, when it's warranted. This is a dream match for many who did not get to see their first matches against one another, like especially if you're new to AEW, new to pro wrestling outside of just WWE. This is a dream match, and dare I say, the biggest match that these two have had with one another because it's for the biggest prize in all of sports wrestling, AEW Championship at Wembley. Can Will Ospreay do what no person from his country has ever done? That's the main story. We saw at the end of the show, too, that Kenny Omega put him through a table with the one-wing angel. That was about to be my Maverick moment. But actually, I'm going to pivot now to another great thing that happened before I covered the rest of the matches here. Kevin Knight coming out, calling out Darby Allin, setting up a pyro trap, pulling a 2008 or 2009 Jeff Hardy. He lights the pyro off on him on stage. And then he hits him with a coast-to-coast with the chair wrapped around his neck. Holy shit, you guys. That was the Maverick moment. Take a look.
Kevin Knight from coast to coast with the... Oh, my goodness.
Just insane. The dude could literally clear probably another 5 feet of ring from coast to coast there. That's how athletic Kevin Knight is. He is a star. He's doing really well as a heel right now. Him and Fletcher both, I think, are the two best young heels in pro wrestling under the age of 30, with MJF now being in his 30s. He doesn't qualify for that, but he is still at the top. I truly think that the three best heels in pro wrestling today are in AEW. MJF, Kyle Fletcher, and now Kevin Knight. I mean, look what he did. Stephen Borden backstage. Let's talk about him, you guys, for a second. He looked freaking yoked. Call him Swolven Borden at this point. He looks primed and ready for his AEW in-ring TV debut in the spotlight for a title against Kevin Knight. And I got a prediction. Kevin Knight's going to retain at All In. And then he's probably going to take it too far and keep pounding on Darby Allin. Darby would take a smidge time off. And then we see Stephen Borden step up to Kevin Knight in a match, maybe at All Out. That's some booking that I have just off the top of my head. Let me know what you guys think down below. I do apologize for my voice as I am dealing with a cold. But as always, you guys, like this video, share this video, hype this video down below. Again, trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of summer. I think it's possible, and it's all thanks to you guys. Back to Dynamite, you had Willow and Mercedes have a promo, and they actually left their respective spots and went after each other. That was entertaining. Maya World defends her TBS championship in a 4-way, pinning Chris Statlander. That is a huge, huge win for Maya World. Great match there. And then you got the trios matches that happened. Ospreay and 2 of the members of United Empire winning against the Don Callis family. I thought Callum Newman was going to show up and attack him. I was wrong, but I do think something like that's going to happen down the line here. And then you had Kenny Omega and the Bucks beat El Clone and Davison Doyle. Great trios matches. The Elite, they're just so damn good, you guys, as a unit. Am I right? I mean, come on. Swerve tying off to what Hangman said earlier. He said, "Did I hear you say anyone for those trios titles? Don't say it if you don't mean it." Hinting even further at New Day or Daybreak debuting. It's going to be really good, you guys. And now on to some news about Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge. He announced that he's never going to return to WWE and will officially retire in AEW. That's where I want to retire. I know this may disappoint a lot of people, but I love it in AEW. I love the company. I love the attitude, the exuberance. I love the drive. I love the excitement that I see from the locker room. Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere else. I'm good. That's it for me. He goes on to saying he did everything he wanted to in WWE, which is for the best, and a partnership is all you could ask for, he said. Getting to smoothly move over to AEW without a fuss. He also goes on to say that Tony Khan is a great human being. Goes to shout out him. Here's the best example of how I can explain Tony Khan to the outside of people who ask me. First night, first match there, Kansas City. I'm standing there with Beth and the girls. Tony comes flying up. He knows both the girls' names. He goes, "Hey girls, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so excited you're here. Isn't this great?" And then he takes off. That is a cool moment. The kids loved it. That is how you run a pro wrestling business. He goes on to praise pro wrestlers, if you want to stop and pause it there. I mean, just great. And he goes on to take a shot at WWE at the end. And he talks about the difference between AEW and WWE, and this is probably going to hurt some E stands' ears here, but he goes on to say, "My experience by the end with WWE was overproduced, over-rehearsed, over everything. They kept handcuffs on you to where you couldn't really explore too much. That's not the case with AEW in that it's fun." And you see this time and time again, you guys. It's not coincidence anymore. AEW is where the best wrestle. AEW is where the best creative entertainment is for pro wrestling. It's where the best owner is in pro wrestling, the best GM in pro wrestling. It is night and day in 2026 between TKO WWE and the freeness and the creative freeness that you get in AEW. Now on to my DDT segment of this video. I got one for you guys, but it's a good one, and it's in regards to ILJA, who's probably going to AEW. You already see a bunch of E-stands just turning on him, saying, "Oh, he wasn't that good anyways. He's just this little 5'10" guy." This dumbass right here, Alfred, goes on to say, "Gone but not forgotten. Don't cry for the mini dragon at 5'10". He'll be a prime candidate for a world title contention in AEW, where little white boys go to thrive." That statement is just so terrible. For one, look at the champions that you have in AEW. They're not all white. As a matter of fact, that women's TBS match that happened last night on Dynamite was one of the most diverse championship matches you've had in a while in all of pro wrestling. All 4 women there were of different nationality. So for that reason, this guy is stupid. And also, it's just so ridiculous that he's turning on ILJA. Yes, he's not that big of a guy. He's still probably bigger than this guy and could probably out wrestle him, whoever this schlub is, Alfred. So for those reasons and your pettiness and your hypocrisy, because I'm sure you were loving his matches on SmackDown against Carmelo Hayes, because it was literally the only good thing that was happening on SmackDown in the last year. I haven't watched an episode of SmackDown in many months. I just watched highlights for many months, and that was the only good that came out of it seemed like, was his feud. And now he's gone. So for those reasons, Alfred, you are this video's DDT. That's all I had in this episode of Screw Script. Let me know down below, again, your thoughts on ILJA. Is he going to go to AEW? What are your thoughts on Dynamite from last night? What are your thoughts on All In coming up? And how do you feel about Edge's choice words about AEW and WWE? As always, this has been Maverick, the voice for you sickos out there. Thanks for watching.